Attribution theory and developing grit. Everyone has successful experiences and everyone makes mistakes. It is a part of life and it will be a part of many experiences, academically, professionally, and personally. Mistakes are a very important part of the learning journey. So, to understand how you succeed or fail, and how to be able to get back on track is where attribution theory can really assist. Attribution theory looks at how successes and failures are interpreted. So this is where we can reflect and analyze to what are the factors that cause us not to reach our goal, or what were the causes to why we reached our goal. So attributions can be internal or external, changeable, or unchangeable. So internally, we're looking at within you caused the success or failure. This could be a lack of knowledge, lack of effort, personality. It's something that you caused to get in your own way. External, something outside of you caused the success for the failure. This could be based on the situation or things that are just totally out of your control. You were depending on someone else. So we have to analyze, internally, how could I have gotten out of my own way? Externally, who do I need to get out of my way? Changeable. You have the power to change the cause. This could be applying more effort, maybe investing more time. Unchangeable. You do not have the power to change. This could be bad due to bad weather. This could be unforeseen events, things that you absolutely have no control. Ability-based goals versus learning-based goals. Ability-based goals, this is where they're unchangeable. They have set parameters where maybe, for example, the ability-based goal is that I'm going to learn how to become an accountant in 1 year and take the CPA exam and pass when it's offered. That may not be a realistic goal. That might take more time. And if I fail, then I'm going to have to wait for the next testing window. Now, goals that are learning-based goals, those have a much higher rate of success because the learner is able to make this more changeable, such as maybe adding more time to their goal. Instead of saying I'm going to do it in 1 year, maybe I'm going to do it in 3 years, but I will take some practice classes to get prepared for that exam. So you might have to move out that finish line a little bit, but it's going to be most likely more achievable. And after all, we have to learn from our mistakes. So staying focused. So when something doesn't go our way, we have to reflect and look at how do I keep moving forward and not feel that I have failed or not met my goals. And that's where, again, you're using attribution. You're looking at did I put the right amount into what I needed to do? Did I study enough? Did I prepare enough? How did I get prepared before? Did it work? Did it not work? Did I ask for support? Was I aware of the support that I could have used? And then the very last question, which is probably the hardest one to ask, is the overall effort. So this is where really going through detail about, what really happened. And also, too, when something goes right, document it so you could learn, like, hey, this worked before. Could I apply it again? And it's really digging deep and admitting to what could I've done a little bit more of. So, productive attribution style. This is asking yourself what factors within my control might have played a role in my success or failure. For academic tasks, you want to focus on the strategies you use when reading, note taking, and studying, whether or not you ask for help or support, and then also the overall effort. We just can't quite say that enough. So that takes us into developing grit. And developing grit is also about resilience. So life can be challenging sometimes. However, these challenges do not have to stop you from meeting your goals with success. In fact, many individuals can persevere despite being faced with numerous adverse or challenging situations. So, resilience and grit are two important concepts that explain what contributes to successful outcomes even when you are faced with significant challenges. So, resilience is a person's ability to bounce back after experiencing difficult, stressful, or even traumatic events. Being resilient is connected to your overall well being. And then grit, it's related to resilience because, in part, it is about your ability to be resilient when faced with adversity, but it requires more than resilience. So, grit also involves being deeply committed to something and sticking with it on a long term basis. And again, it's about, how do we not get stressed out? How do we recognize, yes, this is very hard. How can I achieve it without getting overworked up with it or just wanting to quit? So that's where we have to control stress and recognizing those stress triggers, those things that can make us stress out. And when we talk about stress, there are two main types of stress, and that is facilitative anxiety and debilitating anxiety. And more than anything, it's about being able to recognize what brings that on and also developing coping mechanisms. How do you work through it? So with facilitative anxiety, there's a good stress. This is where it's connected to goals and perceived to be challenging and achievable, can improve overall performance, can be viewed as a positive stress. So sometimes we get excited and we can't wait to do something, and that is stress, but it's a good kind of stress. You probably know someone, or maybe you are that person that performs very well under pressure. That would be this kind of stress. Now, debilitating anxiety, this kind of stress is when someone doesn't do well under pressure. This is where performance can deeply be compromised and also can cause physical, mental, and emotional effect. And this can become a negative reaction. So again, it's very important to be able to recognize, especially this debilitating type of stress and know what brings it on so you can get ahead of it and cope with it. So how to control stress and not control you? Get proper rest. Eat when hungry. Don't eat when you're stressed. Don't eat when you're bored. Engage in relaxing activities. And that can be something as simple as just going outside and sitting in a chair and relaxing and enjoying the elements of outdoors. Or walk around the block or go play with a pet. Arrange to have nutritious meals. Plan this out. And then have a regular exercise routine. I like calling this accidental exercise. Park a little bit further. Go out, walk to your mailbox. Don't drive to it. Think about things that you can do that will give you some more steps. And also avoid using technology before going to bed. When you go to bed, you need to be focused on your rest. So, how will you take control?